Okay, it should be loading. All right. Hello, the wonderful world of YouTube. It is I, Yoshizilla, the voice actor of Silver on this channel, and I am joined with...
Oh, hi, yeah, sorry, guys. I'm Gigi. I'm sorry, I'm drawing in the background.
She is Gigi Crazy Draws. Welcome to the celebration of 100,000 subscribers. This one is special because I was fortunate enough to get in contact with the person who started this all, the person who brought Silver to life. I'm here with Pete Capella.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
Yep, the voice actor of Silver for this very game, which we will be playing. This game is going to be kind of background. Can you guys hear him enough? We're doing this over Skype, so it might be a little different. But let me know if you're able to hear him enough. Let me know if you're able to hear Gigi enough. So yeah, this is going to be an interview. Let's go and go over some ground rules. Gigi and I will be paying attention to the chat, so you can ask your own questions to him. Please do not ask him any questions that are just really, I don't know, absurd or like really personal. And he said he is willing to do his Silver impression, but please do, or his Silver voice, but please do not tell him to say anything horrible, like something sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic. You get the idea. So yeah,
we're all family here. We just want to keep it fun.
Yeah, exactly. And in case people don't believe me, Pete, would you like to say a famous Silver line or anything that you'd like to show people that you are the real person?
Sure. Well, look, I could literally just read the things that are on the screen right now.
Fair enough.
That would be funny. But I won't. You know, everyone just wants to hear that it's no use.
Yep. And don't worry, we will get to that, boss. but yeah, so first off, just kind of general question, how are you doing today, Pete?
I am doing great. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny morning here in Los Angeles, California. I already woke up and surfed this morning down in Venice and made my way back and get to do this.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's right,
almost
Pete.
Every morning.
Pete also lives in California. Yes. Yeah, I am also a fellow California resident, more northern though.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm more near Sacramento area.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm not exactly there though. That's just kind of
not anywhere near the beach.
Yeah, but yeah. First off, I want to just say huge thank you to Maybella. I believe she goes fully by Maybella the Hedgehog. She is actually the person that helped me get into contact with Pete. She reached out to him, and then from there, Pete sent his email to send me, and then from there it was mostly me. But she was the person that helped me get in contact. So thank you so much, Maybella, if you're watching. And I guess let's go ahead and get things started off. So okay, I've got a little document of questions. So Pete, so when did your acting career really like start? Like, did it start at like a young age? Did it like happen more when you were older? Like, when did it really start to take off?
That's a great question. I kind of went back and it's both of those answers. So I started when I was very young. I'm from New Jersey. And so I was doing school plays, you know, at a very early age. And then when I got offered to like start acting in New York City, my parents worked. And so they couldn't do it. It would have been like, it's essentially committing them to bringing me in for auditions and stuff like that. We were a good, you know, hour outside of New York City. So I stopped and I focused on athletics. I was a soccer player. And then when I was 16 years old, I started doing improv comedy. I met this guy who he had studied improv with Wayne Brady and those guys. And so he moved back to New Jersey and he started the show. And so I think my professional career, and obviously I went to college and stuff like that and studied acting. But I think I started when I was around 16 years old to really be like, oh, this is what I want to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, like I have heard that like most actors nowadays, like their acting career kind of starts from like just being in like school plays, which is,
for sure,
which is really cool. I just had to stop for a second because some people are saying the game audio was a little loud. Yeah. I don't know if this was happening for anyone else. Pete's mic was like a little muffled. I don't know if that was just my end or something. I could still hear you, but I don't know, I guess, how everyone else could hear. You guys can hear him all right, right? I turned down the game just so we can hear him a bit. All right. But yeah, that's cool to hear. So you said you did improv comedy?
Yeah. So that's how I started. I did it in New Jersey, then in New York City, and then out here in Los Angeles. I perform monthly in a musical improv show right now, and then obviously pursuing film and TV as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess to follow up, so when your time came to get the role of Silver, were you actually familiar with Sonic at all? Like, had you played any of the games? Like, were you familiar, or was this kind of like the first time you had even heard of Sonic?
I was absolutely familiar. I was, I'm much older than you guys, so I had an Atari 2600, then I had a Nintendo, then I had a Sega, and so I had the Sonic games on Sega from when they started. So when I auditioned for this, I know I've told this story before in other interviews, but I think it's very interesting. I was going in to 4Kids, so 4Kids production was in New York City, and they would bring me in for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the time, and it was always these big, angry, like, villain voices, and they wanted me to do this all the time. And then I was walking out from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles audition. I was like leaving the place, and they're like, "Hey, I don't know. Do you think you could try this 13-year-old Hedgehog? They're relaunching the Sonic game, and I don't know. Maybe you can do it." And I literally, it was just last minute. I threw this audition on tape.
Oh, really?
And it was my first big voiceover break.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so for me, I'm a lot younger. I actually just turned 20 as of June 24th. I didn't
happy birthday.
Thank you. I did not actually get into Sonic until like the most recent years, like when the movie came out. I'd always like heard of Sonic and like I watched some of the cartoons, but I just never really got into it until most recently. But yeah, like you said, you're a lot older, so you had like, the Genesis, the Nintendo, all the early consoles. Yeah.
Yes.
It was really cool. So I guess to follow up with that, so obviously you got to voice, Silver in, this wonderful game that everyone knows, even if you don't like it, everyone knows about. But you got to voice in Emmy Jones's Sonic and Tails R project. So my question is, how does it feel to, like, after all these years, be able to come back and still voice the character for projects, whether it's like, professionally or just something like, it's on YouTube?
Well, first of all, Emmy's a good friend. She's awesome. And so the project I knew was really well written, because she's just such a fan, and it feels great, man. Like, it's one of those things where it is a much higher register than my voice. So I did get a little worried, like, oh man, this is like a lot of years later. Can I still do this voice? But it came back pretty quickly and easily.
Yeah, that's
and I just
great.
I love that the fans love it. Like, for me, if someone is kind enough to like my work, I'm so happy to do it for them.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I actually did watch Emmy's entire series, and it was really well done. I did actually get the chance to meet her once in her server, and she kind of talked about the project, and it seems like she's really passionate about these projects that she does, and it's great. It's great that she's able to do these projects, and that people enjoy them. And it's great that she gets to bring you back for Silver, and it's awesome. And it's awesome that you can still do the voice after all these years.
Yeah, believe me, I'm very happy that I can.
But yeah, it's amazing. So I guess, talking, obviously most of the stream, you're obviously going to be talking about Silver, but is there, let's talk about Silver specifically, the character rather than voice. Is there anything about Silver that you personally like, or you think that you yourself can relate to? Because I guess whenever I meet actors, they always say, like, it's always great to be true to the character, and sometimes you can see yourself in that character, so that's kind of what I'm asking. Is there anything that you like about Silver and you can see yourself relating to about the character?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he is a passionate young I was about to say young man, but he's not a man. He is a passionate young hedgehog, so passionate that he travels back in time to try to save his universe. So like, I love that he's, you know, I'm an activist. I like to consider myself an ally to all the underprivileged. So I feel like that is what Silver is. He's, you know, I feel like there's a lot of him in me, or a lot of me in him.
Yeah, that's great. There is actually a tweet I remember you sending. It was like, I think it was during a time when there was just like, I don't think there was actually any drama, but it was Silver, I believe, with the bisexual flag behind him. And like, I think personally that, you know, you tweeting that was kind of like a great way to show, like, you know, oh hey, like, you know, you yourself, you know, are an ally to really anyone, and so is the character Silver.
Absolutely. And look, we live in a time where things are crazy right now, and somehow they're only getting crazier. So if the people who are actually privileged don't speak up for those who aren't, we're in big trouble. So that's what, you know, that's what I feel like Silver would do as a character. So that's why I felt like I could speak for him.
Oh yeah, that's great. Gigi, do you have any questions that you want to ask for Pete, or is there any questions that the chat wants to ask for Pete? I've asked about 5 of my questions, but we are still paying attention to the chat. So, Gigi, do you have anything you want to ask, or do you have anything that you saw in the chat so far?
I have not really seen much of this chat. I'll be complete. Oh no, wait, never mind. There's one. Oh no. That's the question that just got asked. Okay.
It's a good question, though.
Yes, it is great. You can always ask your question that you were telling me about.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a bit of an airhead today. I'm sorry. So yeah, something I was wondering is, other than like Silver, or even if it is Silver, what has been your favorite role that you have ever gotten to play?
Voice-wise?
Yeah, or even acting. Either or.
I mean, voice-wise, it's definitely Silver. Mostly, and I also, I was, another fun one was, I was Tanner Christensen in The Most Popular Girls in School, which was a huge YouTube show for quite a while. And so that was really fun. Again, he was the gay high school quarterback, so I got to, you know, kind of speak for a community that I'm not a part of, but I am a supporter of, so that was really fun. But I loved Silver because I got to create this character from the very beginning. And so that's always an honor that someone trusted me with that. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I guess it's always like one of those things where it's like, you know, there have obviously been many other Silver voice actors. Well, actually, I don't think too many. I think like 2 others.
Yeah, just 2.
But you got to actually create the character. Like, it was you that started the whole, like, you know, Silver, and, you know, you brought the character to life.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And, you know, it was certainly interesting because they didn't give me much information. So, like, I remember what I was just watching that load screen in the beginning of the story for Silver, and I was just like, I remember recording those lines, and they never told me what the hell I was talking about. So I wish they were just a little bit more communicative about, like, okay, here's the actual storyline. Like, I didn't get the script until I walked into the studio. So I didn't really know what was happening. So it was interesting trying to create a character with very little information.
Yeah, I guess to lead into, so I've got a section here of some of my friends that work with me on this channel that have asked, and I guess now is a good time to ask this question. So this is from MoleStyle23, who is currently watching the live chat. You kind of answered this already, but she asked, like, what sort of script exactly were you given? Were you just kind of given really no context to the story? Was it just your parts, or like did you eventually like kind of get a little more of like context of what was happening and stuff?
Great question. It was my parts, and that's all I knew. So it was really, really hard. And so I, you know, the first funny story is like the first thing I recorded, I just went in to record one line. And I bet if you're smart enough, you could know what that one line is because it was what premiered at the convention that year, which was I finally found him, the Iblis Trigger. And I was like, what the hell's an Iblis Trigger? What am I even talking about? And so like, and that was the only time they had animation on the screen. So they showed me like what was going to be happening. But I still, like, I said the line not knowing what that even meant. And then when I went in to record the actual script, it was, first of all, it was winter in New York and it was cold and I was sick. So my voice was like at maybe 60% if I was lucky. So I remember I was just chugging tea and chugging tea and chugging tea. And then I would get this script and it was in the room, it was me, an American director, a translator, and then the Japanese director from Sega. So I would say something and then he would correct me in Japanese and then the translator would translate it and then the American director would tell me. So it was a lot of communication to try to get through a script that I really didn't know what was happening. So they were trying to kind of explain it on the spot, but also in a different language.
Oh, gosh.
So it was certainly interesting, but fun. Like it was an amazing experience.
Yeah. I will say, great on you for like, having the performance, for this, because I mean there are some high silver lines in this. Like a great example is when you get an S rank, silver full on yells, "Perfect!" and it's like,
yeah.
That is really high.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's a really.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have a decent vocal range, so that I can do those types of characters.
Yeah, I guess to get into another question from one of my friends. Let me see. So this is from Blader saying, so how did you discover your silver voice exactly? Is it just kind of something that came naturally? Did you?
That's a really great
have
question.
An idea?
So what they told me was they wanted him very young anime is what they were thinking. So I was trying to be in a higher register because he was, at the time 10 years younger than me. Now much younger than me, even more so. And then it was really the anime part that really did it for me, of like, everyone says something like this with a lot of passion, so that was where that came from. And then I just calmed that down a little bit to ground him in reality.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you have a point there. A lot of anime, like, everyone's passionate and, has a purpose. And so you were able to sound young. So you said you were 20, was it 24 when you voiced Silver?
Something, yeah. Yeah. So it was 05. So math. No, I guess I was a little older. I was 28. I was 28.
But it'll just rise up.
Nice. Nice. Oh man, we just defeated Iblis, and now he is very upset because we can't completely destroy Iblis. So let's see. So you kind of got into this a little early on the stream, but so besides acting, what are some other hobbies or even like professions that you've done?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. Hobbies. Surfing is my meditation and my workout, and during the pandemic, it just kind of took over my brain and my soul and my heart. So that's a big one. I love playing music. I play guitar and sing, and so that's always fun. As far as professions go, I've been pursuing acting for a long time, since my 20s. So I taught acting and improv for a very long time, and then when I got to LA, it's very expensive, so I got into the restaurant industry at the time. So I had gone from bartender and server all the way to owning my own restaurant. I don't do anything in restaurants anymore. It is a very hard and brutal job, but yeah, to me, as an actor and a human being, everything is just part of the journey. You know, like everything is a little piece of the journey. And so I love just dipping my toes in anything that I can. Something that's going to change me as a person, make me better, or just to kind of open my mind up and expand it. I think it's very important to do anything you possibly can.
Yeah, that's great. It's great. I did not actually know you play the guitar and sing. That's awesome.
I'm fine at both, at best. You know, I dabble in guitar and I dabble in vocal stuff, but really, to me, acting is when you say, okay, acting is going to be my career. It is a full-time job where you still have to have another job, because you are constantly, if you're a good actor, you're constantly training, you're constantly workshopping, you are constantly auditioning, you're putting stuff on tape, you're watching things that are important to you to know what other actors do. And so it's a full-time job that you sometimes get paid for until you're working all the time.
Yeah, from what I've kind of learned about voice acting and just kind of acting in general, every free hour is one paid minute. You work for work that pays, essentially. Like with normal
That's
jobs,
right.
you work for pay, but in this kind of profession, you work for work that pays. And acting is always one of those things where it's like, whether it's voiceover or acting in front of a camera, you always have to have another job, because you don't know when your next gig's gonna be. you don't know when you might get into another role.
That's right, 100%. You're absolutely. I mean, and because look, how long did it take you to build 100,000 followers? By the way, congratulations. That's an insane amount of people, and it's hard to comprehend. How long did it take you to build that?
Okay, so here's a story. Okay, so before, and a lot of my fans know this watching. So before I actually pursued Silver, whenever I was actually 11. I came across YouTube, this Mario plush video trend. It was a very popular trend on YouTube, and there are still a few people that do it. And that was actually what I started off doing. I kind of got inspired by this person called Goomzilla, hence the name Yoshizilla.
Gotcha.
And I started doing this as I would do these Mario plush videos, and I would start acting. I was very amateur because I was very young and still learning everything. But I'd do it, and it was fun. And I didn't really grow that much at all on that channel, but I just did it because I had fun. And then I started getting into Sonic.
This level sucks, by the way. This level sucks. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh yeah, no.
This is the worst level in the whole game.
Oh
All right, keep
yeah.
going. I really.
But yeah, so what happened was in 2019 when I started getting into Sonic, I actually had my first kind of audition for actually Knuckles. There was someone who was doing it was like a dub over what was it? I think it was Black Knight, and I auditioned for Knuckles, aka Sir Gawain, and I actually got that part, and that was my first kind of acting in Sonic. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. And then when talking with some people, they kind of heard my voice, and they were like, wait, can you say it's no use? And I didn't have enough flying. And I just didn't really know. I had no idea who Silver even was at that point. And I was like, okay. So I just kind of said it. I looked up it's no use, and I kind of got an idea, and I was like, okay. And I just went, it's no use. And then people were like, dude, you have to make a character channel. I was like, I'm not going to make a character channel. That sounds, I don't know, it sounds weird. And then I was like, okay, here. I'll go ahead and do a collab video with and then as Silver, and then I'll see what happens. And people seem to support it, so I made a channel, and immediately I noticed that something was taking off. I had already passed, my first YouTube channel got 2,000 subscribers, and I'd already passed 2,000 subscribers. I'd already beaten my other YouTube in less than a month. I saw that window of opportunity, and after essentially 8 years of doing that channel, I decided to retire from it, because I was like, there's an opportunity that I need to take. It was fun to do this, but I've been doing it for 8 years, so technically, to answer your initial question, how long did it take to build that following? It took about 10 years to really get into this, and I haven't been doing Silver for 10 years, but 10 years of just, you know, continuing to like kind of act, continuing to improve. And then that window of opportunity came 8 years later, and I took it. And then that's how I essentially started doing this channel, and I haven't stopped since then.
Right. So, you know, that just proves my point, right? So, A, everything that's good takes a long time and a lot of work. But B, it's all part of the journey. So, you know, yes, it didn't take you the 8 years to, you know, you weren't doing this channel for 8 years, but those other things that you did help you build this following, which is amazing.
Yeah, like it was like when I saw this channel start to take off, I was like, this is something that people really enjoy. Like, you know, because I was really like set on, oh, hey, I want to do, you know, these Mario plush videos. I don't really care if I, you know, get, you know, popular or anything. And even like now on the channel, like I'm very humble about, you know, having 100,000 subscribers. Like, you know, I'm not someone who goes and like shoves it in people's faces like, oh, look at me, I've got this fame. It's like I still, even to this day, can't believe I have gotten this far. And it just really goes to show, and this is kind of going for everyone, like, don't give up if you have a dream. It may not come right away, but, you know, it will eventually come if you just keep trying.
That is correct. Absolutely. It's not a matter of if, it's just always a matter of when. And it's those who hang on and keep at their dream that will actually accomplish them.
Yeah, exactly. Gigi, any questions in the chat that you have happened to come across?
Hold on, just a second.
No problem. I guess while you're looking, if you're looking through the chat and you see like a question, feel free to like save it, and then you can ask it. But I'll go ahead and ask one of my next questions. I assume I know, like, maybe or not will be this, but do you have any favorite projects that you've gotten to work on? I'm going to assume voicing Silver has been fun, but like, are there any other projects specifically that maybe people might not know about that you've personally enjoyed, either acting or voicing it? Because I do know that you've done on-screen acting as well, I believe. Yeah. I mean, on-screen acting is more my thing. At this point, voiceover has become like, which celebrity can you put in the voice? So it's not as it's a whole different game now. So yeah, I mean, my favorite thing that I've ever done, and I was so lucky to be able to do it, is the comedian Rob Riggle used to do pre-game stuff for NFL on Fox. So he would do sketch comedy about football stuff on Fox, and it was so much fun. And I was a part of that team, and I got to, like, literally my first day on set, I got to work with Betty White. And so, yeah, so I got to just do some of the most amazing things and work with some of the most amazing actors and just have fun and be silly with some of the best comedians in the world. So that's definitely been my favorite project. Oh, that's nice. This camera is not working out. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I actually, I think at one point I was looking at your IMDb, and I did see that you had like a demo reel, and it was you acting. It was you acting in like a scene or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's a film that I did that's making its way around the like the festival circuit right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, here I'm also gonna try my best to keep an eye on the chat as well. Let's see. Oh gosh, okay, this is kind of a general question. Are you aware of the fandubs, the Sonic fandubs that by Snapcube by any chance?
No, I'm not. I don't.
Okay.
I will say this. I'm like the worst at YouTube. I just never go on to. I'm just never on anything, and I just don't have time. So I don't really see. The only social media type of stuff I do is Twitter and Instagram. Which, by the way, guys, I'm like 7 followers away from 5,000 on Instagram. I'd love for you to follow me at Pete Capella.
Oh, do it. Go follow him at Pete Capella on Instagram. Do it. But I guess just to tell you what this is, watch at your own risk.
Okay.
So essentially, there's this team, these YouTuber called Snapcube that gets a bunch of not famous actors, but just like kind of their group. And they essentially do a real-time fan dub of these games. Like Sonic,
That's awesome.
like their most popular one is Sonic Adventure 2. And like what they do is like, you know, they're watching the cutscenes in real time, and they're essentially you know, voicing as the characters in real time. It's all improv, no script, no rehearsals, nothing. And well, it's very popular. Has a bit of profanity and other like references. It's like, you know, kind of extreme content. Nothing like, you know, racist or anything that
Right.
like they say, but like, you know, it's pretty extreme content. And yeah, the one thing that everyone, you know, references the most is there's a very popular Eggman announcement that has like a lot of profanity in it from the Sonic Adventure 2 fandub, and it's just kind of become a meme across the internet. If you decide to check it out again, watch at your own risk. But yeah, there you go. I asked that question for you, so he is not aware, but now he is aware. I don't even
Now I'm
remember
aware,
where
and
I'm
I'll go
supposed to-
check them out for sure. Sounds
I
fun.
have no idea where I'm even supposed to go. You weren't kidding. This level does suck.
It sucks.
A bit. Yeah, someone pointed out in the chat. Yeah, I guess I said a bit of profanity. That's kind of an understatement. There's a lot of profanity. But yeah. Oh, come on. I like don't even remember where to go. Gigi, are you still there by chance? I did hear that she said BRB, and it looks like she is still gone, so I will continue. So I assume you are familiar with the Sonic movies, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you've watched them.
I think they're great.
A lot of people, you know, want Silver to join. You know, obviously Shadow's now joining. I guess, would you be interested, even if you aren't voicing the character, seeing Silver join in the movie universe?
I'd be more interested if I were voicing the character, but yes, of course, I would like to see him join the movie universe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, it's a whole cool storyline. Then we get to see the future and what happened there. I think that would be really fun. I think it's a perfect movie storyline.
Oh yeah. There's a few people, Gigi included in that bunch, that are saying that if Silver were to get his own movie, it would actually be cool to see him get his own movie first, like kind of start off with like, you know, maybe seeing like kind of like a bit of like, you know, maybe how long Silver has been fighting the Iblis, or fighting the Iblis trigger is what I was about to say, but I meant fighting Iblis.
Yeah.
And kind of like seeing like maybe Mephiles kind of become like more of like something that's in the movie.
Right.
And I think that would be cool, but you know, I would love to see some sort of movie with all three Hedgehogs. Like it would be awesome.
It would be very, very cool.
And I would love if you got to go back as Silver. I think a lot of people would, you know, say, you know, get Pete Capella back.
Well, great. Yeah, you start that movement, and I will back it fully.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have 100,000 followers. I don't. So
Exactly.
You know.
So I'll be like, guys, tweet at Paramount, get Pete Capella to voice.
That's right.
Yes. Sometimes, you know, YouTube or someone with a huge following can, you know, sometimes they hear their fans. I mean, how many people tweeted at them when the first Sonic design came out? Okay, I got through this godforsaken level.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they literally changed the design in the movie, and even like, look, I mean, Colleen reprised her voice, which is great.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is great that they got Colleen back. I was really surprised. Like, I'm not upset at all. I think it's great.
She is so incredibly talented and so nice. I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, that's great.
So, this is the past.
And here's Blaze in the past. Let's see. So I guess moving on to some more questions. Do you have like a memorable experience at all from voicing Silver? Like maybe it was like a line that you said, or just kind of like maybe some sort of thing that happened that you just, I don't know, maybe you messed up a line and it was funny how you messed it up. Or just like, what would you say is your most memorable experience? Like maybe not just voicing as Silver, but just kind of working with Sega in general.
Yeah, I genuinely think that the best part of it was being in there with the director from Sega, because he was so excited to make this game. and
We
like
need to find silver fast.
he, you know, like I would do my line and he would be like, no, 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 Rah! And just screaming into the microphone, like not mad, but like this is how he wanted it. And I was just like, oh, this guy loves what he does, and just being a part of that was so very cool.
Yeah, you know, hearing all this, it's like, you know, I can't help but like feel bad that, you know, like it's no secret that like, you know, this game wasn't really received well. But Pete, Gigi and I were all talking a bit before the stream because we had to set everything up. There's a difference between a bad game and a bad story. I think, in my personal opinion, this game, besides maybe Sonic's story, because a lot of the, well, okay, even Sonic's story, I would say, like, you know, there's some fun parts, but I hate the speed sections. Sorry to say. But I still think that this game has a good story. Like, even if it's a little glitchy sometimes, I still think that this game has a good story, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does have a good story. I mean, the implications that Sonic slept with the princess are a little weird, but otherwise, it's a great story and it's really fun, and it reintroduced the Sonic world. It brought Sonic back, and that's, I mean, if nothing else, that was huge because there was no Sonic game for years and years and years. So it did what it served its purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I personally think this game gets a little too much of a bad rap. Like, yeah, sure, it's not perfect. Sure, it has a lot of annoying glitches. Sure, you might die a lot. But I don't think it's that bad. And everyone, you know, says that Silver's the worst controlled. I just think people were bad at playing as Silver, because I haven't had any problems with Silver, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually really like the Silver controls. I love having the psychokinesis stuff. I think it's just really cool. It was very interesting and something you had never seen before in a Sonic game, which is why maybe people didn't love it.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, and I just realized, besides It's No Use, the fameless I finally found him, the Iblis trigger is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, here's speaking, I guess, you know, lines, this question is from Scoutkin. Do you actually have a favorite Silver line at all? And I guess if you're going to say your favorite Silver line, would you do us the honor of, you know, reenacting it?
I will, absolutely. And my favorite line is just genuinely the first line that I got to say because it was just very exciting. So I know we talked about it already, but it was, I finally found him, the Iblis trigger. I finally found him.
And there it is, right there as well. There, so if you guys,
that's so funny.
Perfect timing, ha ha ha.
Look at that timing. Yeah, I like that was the first line that I got to deliver, and it was just so cool, and it felt so monumental too. It just felt like a big thing. Like, oh, this is the introduction of the character. The trailer that they played at conventions that year before the game was even finished ended with that line, and I was like, oh my god. You know, because, again, I didn't know, at that point, I had only recorded one line. I didn't know what the character was going to be or what I was even talking about. So when the trailer ended with that line, I was like, oh, this is huge. This is a huge thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a great line. I did actually see recently another kind of fan project that you were a part of. It was I'm unaware who the person was because it was so long ago since I saw it. But it was someone doing a cover of His World, and he had gotten in contact, or he or she, I don't know, or they, had gotten in contact with you and Jason Griffith to kind of say some lines. And I remember it ending with, you know, saying, I finally found him, the Iblis trigger. And I thought it was great.
That was a really, really cool. Someone just asked me to do it as a favor. You know, just a fan reached out. And as you know, like because we did it this way, if somebody offers me money to do something, I like to take that money and donate it to some sort of charity. And so that is what I did with them as well. And it couldn't have been more fun. And that came out really cool. Like, I was super impressed with what they did.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think I did see that Gigi got back. I think she said she had to get AFK. Are you present, Gigi?
Yes, I am back. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
At least for a little bit, I hope.
Yeah. I guess, you know, some things seem to be coming up, but it is okay because the show must go on. But Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess we're talking about Sonic games, and we kind of heard that you have experience with Sonic. Do you have a favorite Sonic game by any chance?
Favorite Sonic game? I mean, probably the first one on Sega Genesis.
It's just classic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just what's nostalgic for me. I mean, obviously, gameplay has gotten a million times better, though this one maybe not. But yeah, that's just it's really the nostalgia factor there for me. I haven't played it in so long. I might just be like, man, this game is so slow compared to newer games, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but that just always sits in my head as my favorite one.
So I recently played Origins, and apparently someone told me that there was not, like, in Origins in the first Sonic game you can spin dash. In the original Sonic game, for what I've been told, you cannot spin dash.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah, that's where I can't go through yet. Yeah, so I guess it may be maybe it is like a little maybe it is a little slow compared to most things.
Yeah.
I will say this game, the one I'm currently, like 06, does not give you a sense of direction. I'm just kind of like, where do I go again?
Yeah,
maybe I'll talk to some people in the town. Yeah.
That's
what part of the game are you at? I might be able to help you.
It's right before the desert. I need to talk to Lord Regis. I think he's actually over here.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. Let's see. Here. Let's see. Let's see. All right, here, I'll go ahead and ask another one of my one of the questions. So this is from Sonic Crow VO, who actually I don't know how many videos you might have checked out on my channel, but he's actually the Sonic voice actor for my channel.
Oh, cool.
So, who is your role model that pushed you into acting?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't think there's one specific person, to be honest with you. I was lucky enough to have, and I still have, parents that were just like, you can do whatever you would like to do. That type of thing. Like, we are not going to judge you for what you do. So that certainly helped. As far as like specific people, I grew up watching TV and movies during the 80s and 90s. And so I was just obsessed with TV. The Wonder Years was my favorite show at the time, when I was a kid. And I was just like, well, this dude's my age and he's acting. This is what I want to do. Obviously, things have come out about him recently that aren't great, so I won't even mention his name. But the show itself was fantastic. And my sister and I just loved watching movies. We went and saw just every movie that came out. We still quote them to each other to this day. So I think it was just the general idea of like, we loved watching movies and TV as a family. So that just kind of got me into it.
Yeah, that's great. I for one also do love, watching movies. I can't really think of anyone who doesn't, enjoy a good movie. I mean, I know it's not for everyone. Not everyone enjoys, watching movies, but I personally do. And, it's funny. Something that I've learned is like, I guess no offense, but voice acting is a great way to learn, but the better way to learn is like watching on-screen actors, because obviously talking in front of a microphone is a lot different than kind of being present in the moment.
Well, let me not correct you, but let me kind of expand on that. To an extent, yes. That being said, I treat it no differently. If you saw me in a booth, you'd be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because I think it's more important to be in the moment, because that's what's going to come across in the voice acting. So I put myself there and I'm acting for camera while I'm in the booth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's actually what I was also going to mention. I was going to mention, however, like, even though, like, because some people, they might be watching, like, TV, and they might think, oh, he's just talking to in front of a microphone. But no, actors, are pretty, they use a lot of body movement, arm movement when they're in front of a microphone. I for one, like, when I'm doing voices on this channel, there are times where like I can't keep myself still, and like sometimes I need to keep myself still, or else I'm like, while I'm while I'm playing a game, for example, I can't tell you how many times I've bumped my microphone because I'm moving so much.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny because I didn't even notice it at first, and then I was like, oh my god, even just the stance that I was like, why are my legs sore? And then I realized the stance that I was in was so aggressive at the microphone, just because I wanted to be in character. Like, this guy he's fighting for his future. And so when I was doing Silver, I was like aggressive at the mic.
Yeah, it's great. I am hoping, because for anyone that doesn't know, this interview is going to go for about about an hour 15. Pete has a very busy schedule, so it's even great that we're getting like an hour of his time. He did say he does not mind going a little bit over the hour, but we don't want to keep him for too long. I am hoping, however, we can get to the Sonic fight, which is after this forbidden level.
Oh, you'll get there. I believe in you.
Yes. Gigi, any interesting questions from the fans that you happen to notice? Oh, I think she might have had the AFK again. That's okay. Let's go ahead and ask this question. So this is from another friend of mine, Darth Maverick. So what was it like working on 06 and the rest of the cast? You obviously went into detail about how it was like to work with the director. Did you get to work with like any of the other cast at all?
So oddly, I only ran into Jason once.
Oh, really?
And that was the only other human being that I saw from the cast when I was recording. And like, so I was going in as he was coming out from a session, and there's some scene where it's just maybe it's a bunch of villagers or so. I don't even remember what scene it was, but we both just did like background voices for it, and we thought that was very fun. Yeah, so I don't even remember what scene that's in or if it made it into the game, but that was the only time I ran into anyone. Since then, obviously we've done Sonicons together and stuff like that, so I've met mostly everyone. Even when I was bartending in LA, Lacey Chabert came in, who played the princess. She came in, and I was like, we have a very funny connection. And we were both dying laughing about it because it was so long after the fact, Yeah,
it's great. Like, I assume you still have, I would assume that you probably still have connections with some of these, like some of the people you worked with on the game. Am I not mistaken?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I see them at any convention. Jason and I stay in touch. Like, we live in the same city. So we'll talk via social media and stuff like that. And yeah, as much as we can. I just, when there's also other projects, like there are a couple other projects that like, we did a live read at the beginning of the pandemic with some of the writers on the Sonic cartoon, and who are just great dudes. And Mike was on that, and it was just good to see him again. And he's just so insanely talented. I just cannot get over how good he is. So yeah, it's fun when people are in the same industry as you and also just like love what they do. You just want to be around them.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. Let's see. So I'm gonna say besides Silver, in case it is, do you have a favorite Sonic character by any chance? And I guess could you explain like maybe why you chose specifically this one?
That's a good question.
Pulling out the good questions.
I know. Well, it's hard because my mind automatically goes to villains, and I don't know why. But I think maybe it's Eggman, because watching Mike do what he does and hearing him do what he does is just so great. I like. So yes, I understand you're asking because of like why do I like, or what characters do I like in the games or whatever. But just knowing the brilliant work that Mike puts into Eggman is just like, it's just the most fun character. here's like just saying how good that character is. If you need someone as talented as Jim Carrey to get to play it, that means you are doing the best job.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, like I've seen like a few interviews like with Mike and stuff, and it's great that he's like been Eggman for all these years, and he doesn't seem tired of it at all. I mean, I can't imagine why he would be tired of it.
And he's just so, because he's so good at it. He's just so, I can't even tell you, just, being in a, because again, when we did that live read, there were times where I caught myself just watching him do what he does because he's just that good. Colleen was there too. Colleen was doing a voice in the. It was a different script. It wasn't Sonic stuff. It was a script that these guys had written, a cartoon script, and which was brilliant. And I hope it gets made. But watching Mike do what he does, watching Colleen do what she does, it's just like it's mind blowing to be in a room with them.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it's always like, it's always great, like, hearing, the characters and like, but like, it's even better to actually, I guess, see the voices behind those characters, like, giving life to that character,
Yeah.
Like, everything they do, like, has an impact on the character, like, which is why the director was probably, like, so set on, like, no, you have to say it like this, because, the way you say a line can change absolutely everything, even if it's a very slight change.
Especially because the Sonic fan base, as you well know, they're very involved and very into the game to the point where like they care what every syllable sounds like. There's no reason why It's No Use should be so popular, and it is because. I mean, obviously, because they repeat it a million times during that one scene when you're fighting Sonic. But that being said, like, if that was delivered poorly, people would have hated on that line instead of liking it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Like I just remember when I first heard I feel like a lot of people, including myself, struggled with Silver, like the Silver boss fight. And it's funny because, he says it's no use because he's not wrong. It's no use.
Right.
Like, he's not wrong at all. It really, like, it's a hard fight. Once you figure it out, though, then, kind of like any fight, you can get through it.
Yeah.
It's always fun, though, when you can get revenge, like, on Sonic with Silver. And, like, hopefully I get to that fight, but you just obliterate Sonic in seconds.
Right. Yes.
It's always great. So let's see. Here's a pretty good question. What would you say is the biggest, whether it's voice acting or not, what would you say is the biggest challenge as an actor?
The constant rejection. Look, no matter what you do, you're going to get rejected. But the life of an actor is you go out and you audition and you put everything you have into this audition. And then you more than likely hear nothing. So you've just spent days working on the background of this character and everything that this character thinks and feels just so you can do the audition. You're not even being on, you're not even filming yourself. They're not even making the project yet. You're just auditioning for it, and you put everything you have into this, and then if you're lucky, you hear back. But more often than not, you don't. It's just a life of constant rejection. So that is the hardest part until you shift your mindset in thinking like, okay, it's not rejection. Just this isn't the role. This wasn't meant for me. It's going to be the next one, or it's going to be the next one.
Yeah, exactly. The way I've actually looked at it, and there was actually an actor for I think you may or may not be familiar with this musical because I think you follow their Twitter. It's an actor from Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. The way that he kind of described it, his name's David Jeffrey, and he is the current Connor Murphy actor. the way he described it is, even if you get rejected, it like, it doesn't mean, oh, you're not good for the role or like you did anything bad. It's just simply like, the director has a vision and, it just wasn't for you. It's nothing. You could have been the best out there, but they like, it just might not be for you. And even if you don't get the role, you still get to play as that character for a few minutes. You still get to like,
for sure.
You still get to play as the character.
You get to bring it to life in the way that you would have, and that is always an honor. There are just some times when you're just like, I put so much into this. I want this so bad. And obviously you don't have any control over that. But that being said, you always, you want that. You want it. So sometimes you just want things so badly. You think that it's meant for you, and you convince yourself of that.
Exactly. Also, Pete, I don't know if you were paying attention to the stream, but I hate that ball puzzle. So there's a glitch you can do where you clip through the wall like I just did there. I
was watching. I was like, what the hell's happening right now?
Yeah, I hate that ball puzzle. So I just choose to skip it. But by doing that, I have never once. I believe Gigi also does it. It's unfortunate that she's getting pulled away. But hopefully she'll join us for the end. If you are here, your mic is still muted. But I assume she got pulled away. That's unfortunate, but we're still keeping things going.
I can't believe.
But yeah, and here comes the fight. So let's see. So this is actually, I might as well get to this question from Maybella. They actually ask, how long did it actually take to record the lines for 06? Was it a few days, only a few hours? How long did it take?
It was a pretty long process. I think when all was said and done, I was probably in there for 5 to 7 days, 3 to 4 hours at a time. I would think something like that. I don't exactly remember because it was a really long time ago. So yeah, I mean, it was 15 years ago. More? Less? Something like that?
Yeah.
More. It was 17 years ago. Man, my math brain is not here this morning.
Almost 18, coming up on 18. Oh my gosh.
It was coming up on 8. It's coming up on 18 years ago. So it's almost 20 years ago. That being said, it was a lot of script and a lot of days. But look, man, when you book something and it's a project that you really like or are really excited for, you could have said, hey, man, I need you for 20 days, 20 hours a day, and I would have been in there every day happily. Like, it's just like, it's so great. It is just so great and so much fun. And again, everyone involved was fun. The directors were awesome. I loved that studio. That studio was like a second home to me. I was up there and auditioned so much. You just destroyed him.
Yep. But yeah, so it really just boils down to sometimes they'll only need you for a little bit, or sometimes they'll need you for a lot.
Totally.
Yeah, that's.
And they were good. They were good with their time. Like if they wouldn't call me in, other than the Iblis trigger thing that they needed for that trailer, they wouldn't call me in unless they had the full, we had a lot of recording to do. It's not like I went in because I was commuting up from New Jersey. I was taking a train into New York and then taking the subway to wherever I needed to go. And so they weren't wasting my time by any means. It was the best. Every second of it was awesome.
Hold on one second. Someone is saying the stream died. It's weird though, because it still says I'm live. I think it's just lagging for some,
It's working perfectly for me.
For some. Oh, whoops. Yeah, the stream is fine for me. I don't know about the others. It still says I'm live. Nothing has gone wrong. I don't know if something interesting.
This is my mission.
I don't know. If anything goes wrong, they'll be safe.
It looks like 100 people or so got booted.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Weird.
Stream is lagging. It keeps freezing. Oh, the stream's not lagging. That's just the game. That's just the game. It's I don't know. Oh wow. It's the game. It's not the stream. It's the game. Yeah. Okay. All right, good to see that that's all working. Yes, we have Amy being a human shield. Oh man. So a lot of these lines were like, it wasn't like, oh, you were like in a room doing them with Lisa Ortiz. It was literally you just kind of got the lines, you had to say them, and kind of the same for her.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but it is great how well it was put together.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, I that is the Hollywood secret is that half the time that you're acting, you're not even acting with anyone. But there are actors that kind of refuse to do coverage. So like, if it's my shot and someone's shooting me and I have lines with, I'm just going to name an actor. I'm not saying that they don't do coverage because I'm sure they do. But like, if it's me and Robert De Niro in a scene, Robert De Niro doesn't have to be in that scene. He can shoot his lines, and then I could be reading to someone just reading off a script. You don't. That's this. So in voiceover stuff, it's very rare. I've never been in a booth with another person other than the one time that Jason and I just did background voices.
Yeah, gotcha. And now Silver needs some time to think about what he's done.
Just contemplating life.
Just contemplating life. To kill someone to save the world. Is that really the right thing to do?
So this is where you are. I've been looking for you.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and look at the chat real quickly.
Cool.
Go and see if there's any more questions. We are gonna be wrapping this up soon because, like I said, we have Pete for about an hour. It's about been an hour, but he said he's willing to go for a little bit after. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's see. See if there's any questions.
Is that really the right
So it's kind of a no-brainer question. Actually, here I'll ask both. So, someone asked, have you heard of the Project 06 game that's being made?
I can't really say.
I've heard that it was being made. I know nothing of it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's in it. I know nothing about it.
So Project 06 is essentially this game, but like what they're doing is they're kind of repolishing it a bit. Like they're not changing anything about it. It's still like Sonic 06. But they're like they're adding like a few custom like kind of cutscenes and taking your voice clips and like Jason's and like all the other actors and kind of giving kind of like an HD like version of it. It's not like being bought or anything. It's just
right.
Who
cool. That's awesome.
Is just liking it. And I think it's cool. It's not finished yet, but it's in the process and. It's pretty cool.
Great. Can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like a fan remaster. Thank you, Molo. It's it's essentially what it is. It's like a fan remaster.
Awesome.
Which it is really cool to see, like, the Sonic fans kind of like the kind of games that they create. Like I believe, if I remember correctly, Sonic Mania was like a fan game, but Sega noticed it, and it's now like an official game. Something along the lines of that. I forget.
Right.
So here's actually a question. I don't know if it's true or not, but this was from Dakota Electro. I don't know if this was like false information or not, but he said that somewhere in an interview you mentioned that originally when you went to audition for 06, you auditioned as Shadow. Is that true?
No.
Not exactly.
No, I think probably what they misunderstood was that I was auditioning for deeper voice characters, so they probably assumed that it was Shadow. But it was those characters weren't even for Sonic. It was for, I'm pretty sure it was a Ninja Turtles audition that I was in there for.
Okay.
And again, like as I was leaving, they were just like, "Hey, could you do this 13-year-old Hedgehog?" If I auditioned for Shadow, again, quite possible. It was almost 20 years ago, so I don't really remember.
Gotcha. Yeah. Do you have a Shadow voice or anything?
I don't. No, definitely not.
Not at all. Yeah.
No one's better than Jason.
Oh yeah. It is great. That it's funny because the thing I've heard is people will say that they think that Jason's best Sonic was in Shadow the Hedgehog, and Jason's best Shadow was in this game, like 06.
That's very funny.
And my favorite Shadow line is what he says at the end of his story, where he says, "If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have." Like, that's just such a great way, as he takes off his inhibitor rings. That's just such a great line. And
it just shows you
great.
that the script matters. You know, no one ever gives enough credit to the writers, and a good script with bad actors is better than a bad script with good actors, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, the script and the actors matters like just as much. If you have like a good script and like, I guess, I don't want to say a bad actor, but like, you know, an actor that isn't able to pull it off as much, then it might not do well. But if you have a bad script and a good actor, then it might not sound the best.
Yeah, that's correct.
Either way, it might sound pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Maybella in the chat just mentioned, you know, the famous roundhouse kick that Shadow did with Silver.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess here's a question. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to assume, like, you know, you think this game is cool because we talked about it and stuff. But like, you know, what was, I guess, your like, I guess any reactions that you might have had when you saw this game like all put together? Because obviously, you just recorded your Silver lines, but you know, is there anything that like you saw about the game, like when, like, you know, first came out, whether you watched cutscenes or actually played the game for yourself, that you just absolutely loved about it?
Yeah, I mean, again, the only Sonic games at that point were you know, were the 2D games where you're just kind of running, you know, along the screen. So I love the idea that they wanted to add this other dimension to it, and there was never a Sonic story. So I was lucky enough to, like, you know, get to create this character because they decided to give storylines, and I thought that was really awesome. So that was my favorite part of the game, was just to watch. I know that, like, I don't know, even just like now that all the cutscenes are online or whatever, just watching that straight through is a very cool thing to see that, like, oh wow, they gave me the opportunity to put a really cool story together here.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I still think that the cutscenes are just like a really great part of this game. Like, obviously there's like a bunch of different cutscenes. There's like, you know, the pre-rendered cutscenes. There's like pre-rendered cutscenes that use the in-game model. But you know, those like opening cutscenes, especially like, you know, with Silver and stuff, it's beautiful. I just love how it's like put together.
Yeah, my favorite one of those, I mean, that I got to do was just his introduction, when he just talks about like what's happening in the future and introduces like why I'm essentially saying, like, here's why I'm in this game. Here's why you should give a shit about me.
Exactly.
So yeah,
it's great. Again, people give this game a bad rap, but you can't deny this game has good soundtrack, it has some good cutscenes, and it does have a pretty good story, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let's see. So this question is from Iguana Girl. What did you enjoy? Like, I think we kind of tackled this earlier, but I'll go ahead and ask it again. So what did you enjoy, like, I guess, the most about voicing Silver? Being able to voice this character that you created.
I think my favorite thing was to be able to create something from the very beginning, to be able to tell an origin story. Because that was what was exciting to me, was like, you know, would it have been awesome to like have voiced Sonic and voice this classic character? Absolutely. But to be able to create an origin story. And so now, you know, when everyone talks about, because there are now other actors that have voiced Silver, when people talk about it, they talk about, when they mostly reference Silver, they're referencing me. They're referencing what I created in that character. And that was just such an honor to do that.
Oh yeah, like, you know, I guess I'm a prime example. Like, you know, my Silver is definitely based off of yours. I feel like that as I continued voicing the character for my channel, it kind of the base was still like, you know, your version, but I kind of turned into kind of a version of my own. Like I kind of like,
of course.
Still got like, you know, the Silver, like, you know, with the really scruffed up voice and stuff, but and like sounding young and stuff. But it kind of turned into like my own version. Like I don't try to, I guess, for lack of a better word, like religiously make sure that everything I am doing sounds like you, because I'm never going to be able to sound like you. I could maybe sound like you, but I'm never going to be able to accurately, like fully, like do your Silver, because it's your own voice.
Well, that's the thing that is the downfall of most beginning actors or voice actors, is they think that they need to do an impression of another actor, like, oh, you know, whoever, Ben Schwartz did it this way, so I have to do it like that. That's not the case. The only thing that you can bring to the character that no one else can is you. So that's the most important part. That's why you're being hired, or that's why you're doing it, and that's why they audition people. If they wanted a certain person, they would just offer them the role. So
yeah, exactly.
You have to, you know, you have to bring what the thing that no one else can, and that's your take on it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I guess, you know, to get into like a more, I guess more like a deep question, not so much personal, but I guess to anyone that's like aspiring to be an actor, what would you say is your biggest advice? Or like, I guess, what advice would you give to anyone who's like, you know, who wants to be an actor, who wants to pursue acting, stuff along the lines of that?
It's never too early. It's never too late. It's because it's something that's always going on, and they need every single type of person. You're not too skinny. You're not too fat. You're not too ugly. You're not too pretty. You're not too anything. You are you, and that is enough. That's the first thing. 2, treat it like a full-time job. You have to dedicate yourself to it. You can't just like show up somewhere and say, I'm an actor. I do this stuff at home. Like, take classes, keep shooting stuff, make stuff on your own, fail miserably. You know, like it's not going to happen right away. And the other thing is just never give up. It like I said, it is definitely never too late. So, you know, look at J.K. Simmons, who plays J. Jonah Jameson in all the Spider-Man movies. He didn't start acting until he was like 60-something years old, or 50-something years old.
I didn't know that.
He started very, very late in life. So it's never too late. There's always an opportunity for you to break through.
Yeah, wise words.
Yeah,
something that I was gonna actually mention earlier. The thing that I've learned about being an actor is, you know, you have to be ready for rejection, but it doesn't matter how many times you may, like, you know, there's obviously some people that might blow an audition or something. They might like mess up or something, but it doesn't matter how many times you get rejected or how many times you fail. You only need to be right once, and then you've got that role, and then you do that same thing again. Then you do the same thing again.
Absolutely.
You just have to be right once. That's all that matters. You can fail as many times as you want.
You will, by the way. You will fail a lot. But you just can't look at it as failure. You have to look at it as growth and learning.
Yeah, like, I guess a great example of, because I haven't auditioned for too many things or anything really professional, but my college play, I auditioned for this one play, and, you know, I didn't get the part. They just said that they wanted, like, they envisioned kind of someone who is, I guess, a bit more Hispanic. And it's like, you know, that's fine. I am Hispanic, but, like, you know, I'm not, like, super tan. So, you know, just, you know, it's nothing about my acting. It's just, you know, the role isn't for me. And then I auditioned for another thing, and I got the lead. This was my first big, I guess, like, kind of thing that I did. I got to play the lead in a play at my college called The Comedy of Errors by Shakespeare.
Yeah. I know it well.
And when Pete says, you know, dedicate yourself, it does mean dedicate. I do have a part-time job at UPS. I took a month off for this. I wasn't even getting paid for you know, this play, because it was just a play at college. But it doesn't matter. This was to get experience. And, you know, I decided to take a month off my job. They completely understood, and I dedicated my time to, you know, all these auditioning, you know, reading the text. Because, I mean, the different things between plays and movies, voice acting or not, is you can mess up your lines, and just redo it. But with plays, you have to learn everything, and then you have to perform it in front of a live audience.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the other last piece of advice is, like, if you really want to be an actor, do theater. Do theater first. Start in theater. There's no better experience. There's nothing better than being on stage. There's nothing scarier than being on stage. There's nothing more gratifying than being on stage. It's just the best.
Oh yeah, it's great. Looking at the time, we are kind of wrapping up, so I think after this boss, that is a good time to wrap up, so, good on the time. So I'm going to ask the chat, to make sure you ask your remaining questions, because, as much as we'd love to have Pete here all day, he's got a job, he's got his family to take care of, it's an honor to have him here. But yeah, we're going to be wrapping this up, so make sure to get your final questions in. I basically asked everything that I wanted to ask. I don't know if Gigi is still here. It's a bit unfortunate that looks like she got pulled away. But, I want to thank her for being here anyways to help out a bit. Just, unfortunate circumstances that we didn't, I guess, really know about. Yeah. Something goes wrong, kind of move on from it.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm very upset, though. I still need 3 of you to follow me on Instagram. I have to break 5,000 today. It's my goal.
Yes, come on, guys. You got to do it. I guess this is actually, I said I was done with my questions, but this will just make my day. So you've seen some of my content, correct?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I as soon as you sent it over, I went down your channel. Yeah.
Would you please do me the honor? You can talk to the chat and say the intro that I say. Every time I start a video, the first thing I say is, "Hey, my futuristic crew, Silver the Hedgehog here." I'm wondering if you could do me the honor.
I got back for the best part.
I am wondering if you can do that for the stream.
Absolutely. It's "Hey, my futuristic crew, Silver the Hedgehog here," right?
Yes.
All right. "Hey, my futuristic crew, Silver the Hedgehog here."
That's amazing. That made my day. Welcome back, Gigi. Yeah, sorry that you kind of got pulled away. It's unfortunate, but it's good that you're here for the end. Do you have any more questions that you want to ask Pete before we end the stream?
I actually didn't, so that's probably a good thing, considering how much I was getting pulled away.
Okay. Let's see.
Well, we missed you, Gigi. We missed you the whole time.
Yes, we missed. Let's go ahead and see. I'm just going to be looking at the chat while these cutscenes play, because I don't need to touch the controller at all. Let's see. Let me know, Gigi, if you have any question.
I am keeping an eye on the chat, though. Well, actually, I did see.
While you're waiting,
question.
Oh, go ahead, Gigi.
So yeah, I did see one question that was kind of interesting. Where'd it go? Okay, I'll look for the person. Oh, here it is. Okay. Zara asked if you think that the Silver VAs that came after you did the character justice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, that's a good question, but I was never. Obviously, I was upset when they were. We found out in the weirdest way that we weren't voicing the characters anymore. We were literally at SonicCon in 2010 when I think it was a fan was like, "Hey, how do you feel about 4Kids not having the job anymore and you guys being replaced?" And we were like,
"Oh God,
wait, what?" But that being said, like, that's the way the world goes. And if it's supposed to be mine again, it will. And I hope I do get to voice Silver again, because I saw a lot of people asking, would I come back and voice him? Of course. Always. It's just the most fun. But I think those guys have done a great job. I mean, again, it's their own take on it. Nobody did an impression of me. They took what I established for the character and did their own spin on it. And I think it's been great.
Yeah, that's great. So what were you gonna say before Gigi asked the question?
Oh, my wife kept reminding me, hey, just let them know you're waiting to get certified on Cameo. So if anybody actually does want to do like a thing, I will be certified on Cameo soon and being able to do whatever weird things you guys like to do.
Oh, nice. So yeah, I've heard of Cameo. It's like where you can, isn't it where you can pay actors like to send like a gift or something, like if there's someone...
Yeah. And like, look, I do that all the time. You guys feel free to reach out. I just ask if you have a budget and you're going to pay for that thing, we talk about what a good charity is that it will go to, because these are very trying times right now, and we need to support those who cannot support themselves, or who the government has decided doesn't get to support themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Oh wow, I did not actually realize that after an hour we're already 57% through Silver's story. That's funny.
You killed it.
Yeah. If only we could have. Man, I should have done a speedrun of all this. Let's see. So, yeah, again, we're just wrapping up. Just going to look through a few more questions. Oh, someone did ask, what is your opinion on Silver's theme, which is Dreams of an Absolution. English is hard.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. And I love that people have redone it or remastered it or remixed it. It's all very, very fun.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love the song. I've sang it twice. It's a fun and kind of hard song. Like it has some high notes in there.
Yes, it does. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question. I mean, I think this is pretty obvious, but would you like to see Silver get his own game? Like, I guess in the future, a lot of people want him to get his own game.
Yeah, obvious is correct. Yes, absolutely. I would love that. It would be great.
I hope let's have Pete
if that's the
voice
case,
for him.
I would like to voice it. Yeah, please.
Yes, that would be great. To have Pete come back and be able to voice it, or even in the movie. I don't know if you were here, GG, when we asked this, but we asked if he would love to see Silver in the movie universe, and he said yeah, and he said he would love to voice him.
I actually, when I was managing a restaurant, ran into Ben Schwartz, and we were talking about that too. Where I was just like, I know that this isn't the time. This was before the first movie. I was like, I know that this character's not going to come into play, but I really hope he does, and I really hope I get to voice him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, let's go and go through a few more questions, and then we'll let you go on your busy week. I did actually see someone ask, I forget who it was, but have you actually ever gotten recognized in public before? And kind of what was that like, if you did?
I have, but not for Silver stuff, for other stuff. Specifically, the improv show that I used to do in New Jersey, of all places, we used to sell out to crowds of like 200 people every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I've gotten recognized in Italy, and in California, and all over the country, of being like, hey, did you do that improv show in New Jersey? It's a thing that's stuck in people's minds, because it like kind of formed their young lives.
Yeah, that's great. I haven't gotten recognized because, I mean, it's funny. So on this channel, I have not shown my face. People tell me to show my face, but I've been involved in speedrunning communities for charity where there is like a face cam on me, and I've told people like I don't really need to do a face reveal on this channel because my face is already in the public. It's already out there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Let's see. Probably one more question, and then we will end the stream. Let's see.
Perfect.
Let's see if there is. I think this is a good question to kind of end off. So, so how do you feel about the Sonic franchise and kind of what keeps going? Obviously, Sonic Frontiers is coming out pretty soon. So even though Silver might not be heavily involved and stuff, I guess what do you think about the Sonic franchise and how it's kind of just evolved over all these years? In my personal opinion, I think it's evolved a lot ever since the movies came out.
Yes, absolutely. I think the movies were the best thing for it, whether you like the movies or not. It brought people back to loving Sonic again. I mean, most you guys are the real fans who never stopped. But it introduced Sonic and the world to a whole new group of people, which is just, I mean, look, I'm going to put it in these terms. When I was in high school, we used to write Marvel because I was a comic book dork. We used to write Marvel every month saying, please make a movie. Here's our dream cast for X-Men. Please make a movie. And Marvel essentially was like, we're not gonna make movies. They don't do well. And then they started making movies and it just exploded. And now Marvel is a studio and they have a bajillion dollars and is bought by Disney. You know what I mean? So like the same type of thing is happening with Sonic, where it's just like, oh, wow, here's a whole other way that this franchise can explode. And that's what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing. Well, anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this stream. Once again, big thank you to Pete Capella for joining us for this hour and a half, you know, for taking the time out of his day. And if your question did not get asked, I apologize, but who knows? I have, you know, Pete's, email. Maybe I can reach out to him again. And he was, talking about charity stuff. Maybe we could do a charity stream at some point. You know, it kind of just depends. I
love that idea. I love that idea. Great. That's a great idea. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Look, he's already on board. So who knows? This might not be the last time you see Pete Capella on my channel. Maybe he'll voice a little cameo. Who knows? Which, by the way, you should go on Cameo and support him there. Yeah,
I'll let you guys know when that's up. I'll tweet about it or something like that.
Yes, be sure to follow him on his Twitter at Pete Capella. Be sure to follow him on Instagram because he's almost at 5,000.
Oh, I'm above it now, guys.
Woohoo! Nice.
5,012. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys for the support. I did see a few donations come in during the stream. I disabled them, but I did see them. Thank you so much for all the support. But yeah, thank you, Gigi, of course, for joining me. Sorry that you had to get pulled away, but you did help out, so I appreciate you.
You were here in spirit the whole time, Gigi. You were here in spirit.
Yeah, Gigi is essentially the person that helps me out with this channel the most. So, even though she wasn't here for a bit, it's okay. She was here. Yeah, she was here in spirit.
I'll go back and watch it eventually.
Yeah. But anyways, Pete, do you have any closing thoughts you would like to say, or anything you'd like to say as everyone's favorite hedgehog?
Well, sure. Thank you guys so much for even giving a shit. I really do appreciate it. It's almost 20 years later, and you guys still get excited for this type of stuff. And there is literally nothing better as a human being than seeing that a character that I created affected you in a positive way. So I truly, truly thank you for your support. And that's it. I don't know. Give me one last thing to say as Silver, and I'm happy to say it.
Well, do you have any ideas, Gigi? I want you to contribute.
First thing we see in the chat.
First thing we see in the chat.
Come on, guys. Well,
Of course.
I said that already. I said that one already.
Give them something different.
Right, second thing we see in the chat. No.
Well,
no, guys.
Fine. It's no use.
All right. Here, you know what? Here, I got a thing you can say. Why don't you say my outro that I say? See you later, Futuristic Crew. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Okay. We're gonna end it there too, right?
Yeah, we're gonna end it there. So thank you all so much for watching. Okay. And Pete, take it away.
See you later, my Futuristic Crew. Thanks for watching.